Hello Kitty Island Adventure just released for Steam and Nintendo Switch on January 30th, 2025. I have now played for about 30 hours on Steam, so I figured it was time to give it a authentic and honest review, as well as every issue I've encountered along the way and all the pros and cons. So hopefully today, this review will help you decide if the game is for you or worth a skip. Some people have even gone as far as saying it's not worth playing due to the time gating and the fact that there isn't much to do, which I will for sure talk about as well as in this video and what I've encountered with it and if it's being exaggerated or not. The price tag was for sure pretty big with this game. I was not gifted this. I spent $66 with some change after tax for the deluxe version. With such a big price tag for a game like this, I can understand some people being concerned if the game is truly worth the hype and picking up. You can also purchase the base game for only $39.99 USD. However, if you are somebody unsure of what version to get, I will cover and talk about this later in my video because I know that many people are concerned if the deluxe version is even worth buying. So what is Hello Kitty Island Adventure? The game is a cozy life sim featuring a cutesy world that almost feels nostalgic of old school Animal Crossing in a way. You can adventure, explore with sanrio friends, as well as mini games and puzzles. So the first thing I want to talk about is character creation in the game, which is actually pretty good. I think it's so cute how we get to be an animal along with our island friends in the game. As a huge Animal Crossing fan, it always felt off to me that I was a human on the island, so the fact that I can fit in with my characters is pretty big for me. Overall, the character menu is pretty decent for this release. We can be several different types of animals, but I definitely would love to see more avatar options, for example, like frogs and maybe even a cute mouse. You also get to unlock more character customization color palettes as you progress the game through leveling up the sanrio characters on your island. I felt the colorways were limited, so I was really excited to hear that more options would be available to us later on. Also, if for whatever reason you decide you don't want to be a certain animal after selecting it, there's a mirror feature that allows you to change your appearance whenever you want. Moving on, we're going to discuss the story without spoilers and the time gating rumors you may have seen on other YouTube videos or social platforms. I would also like to talk about some ways that I believe could improve the overall gameplay and just make it a better experience. So I'm definitely not finished with the main story yet, even after the 30 hours I have been playing, but I can say without spoilers, the story has been present and I haven't had any issues progressing and unlocking areas on day one. Each quest is simple, but very interactive, and there's so much to explore which has kept me busy. You can even unlock some quests by just exploring. After 30 plus hours though, I did experience filing my first time lock, which was gathering some rubber to craft my snorkel. This wasn't too major though, because a friend could just drop me off some pieces and I could continue my gameplay, or I could just wait another day and just explore and unlock areas of the map. As for friendship locks, I haven't experienced any because I have been careful about what gifts I bring each NPC. You can give each character 3 gifts a day and this will increase your friendship level with them. This unlocks more quests, rewards, and companion abilities similar to Dreamlight Valley, but you can't choose which ability the character has. Every time you level a character up, you will receive also a reward. You can also speed up the process with an item called Friendship Blossoms, which allows you to gift an additional 3 times after the daily limit. As a deluxe player, I did receive some of these with my purchase, but actually didn't need to use any. We did, however, test the method out on one of my live streams to showcase how it worked, but that's the only time I've actually had to use them. I do feel like these blossoms though are a great option if you want to speed up leveling up your characters and don't have to wait one real day to progress. Also, a side note, I did learn a lot about gifting villagers from a fellow YouTuber's channel who I'll have linked in my pinned comment if you want a more in-depth tutorial on this and avoiding any possible time locks and more. In summary, this feature for both the friendship and resource time locks feels very mobile game, which is something I hope to see change now that it's on console. I can understand keeping this feature for mobile, but for a console game, it just feels weird. I think a great friendship system that works very similar to how Hello Kitty Island Adventure is would be taking some ideas from Disney Dreamlight Valley. I can level up all characters on the same day if I want, and I'm not being time locked if I don't have friendship blossoms. I also don't like the fact resources do not spawn spawn often, but just once a day, which again feels very mobile game. However, I have been exploring and unlocking all of my maps, so it hasn't caused me too much trouble since I have focused on unlocking all areas to make sure I grab any spawned resource in the game. And just like I mentioned earlier, I could always trade resources with another player if I need to craft something for my story, which is something I used to do anyways for Animal Crossing and also currently Dreamlight Valley, so it doesn't bother me too much, but I can see for sure this being an issue for players who may not want to do multiplayer or have access to it, which is why I believe that this feature needs to be polished up more for a console release. We are no longer on a mobile game and the mobile game features need to be adjusted. So in summary, would I say that time lock issues have caused me so much trouble that I can't play for several hours? Absolutely not. If I run into any time locks, I just do something different, like focusing on opening my map, fishing, or even bug catching for the reserve. I've also been hunting for treasure chests, and all of this content has allowed me multiple hours of gameplay, which is amazing. However, near endgame, I could see this becoming a huge issue if all of my achievements are finished, so some new features hopefully will be added soon to make the endgame still enjoyable. This is also another huge reason why I want to see decorations expanded on the game, including how decorating works, and also events like Dreamlight Valley and Infinity Nikki offers. So the next thing we will talk about is multiplayer, which actually shocked me with how good it is. We got to test the feature on my live stream, and multiplayer has so much to offer. It's everything I wish Dreamlight Valley and Animal Crossing could have been. Friends that visit your island can not only do main quests with you, but also travel and explore the world by your side. Friends can also take home resources and items they purchase from your island, which also benefits them. There's also mini games and task challenges you can do together to earn bonus friendship rewards, which include items and other things like emotes. Another thing I like about multiplayer is the fact that friends can live on your island and decorate their very own cabin, which I think is a really cool feature. My only negatives with multiplayer currently are how small the party count is. Sadly, you can only have one friend over at a time, which is an issue for somebody like me who has several close friends. I also think the game could benefit from some sort of a chat system, even if it was as basic as Animal Crossing New Horizons. That way communication would be a little bit easier when we hang out with our friends. Moving on, we're going to talk about the camera and performance of the game so far, and I honestly haven't had any game-breaking bugs or issues. My gameplay overall has been really enjoyable and everything has been running really nicely. The camera system does kind of feel a little dated. I don't really like that I can't control where I want my camera to angle at. The camera just kind of moves with you as you explore the island. So in the future, I would love some options where I can control the camera angles myself, especially when it comes to decorating inside of my cabin. Overall though, besides me wanting a couple of camera fixes, I don't really have too many negatives and my gameplay has just been a really pleasant experience. So moving on, we're going to talk about the questing in the game, which is honestly really easy and not overwhelming. The questing is honestly really similar to Disney Dreamlight Valley and Palia, so if you're familiar with those games, you are going to have to go fetch some resources to be able to craft and progress to get different things to help you move along with the story. So I know that these type of quests can kind of come off as grindy for some players, but if you're familiar with these type of games, the resource grind kind of feels similar, if not easier. I don't know what it is about Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but I actually really enjoy the grind on here versus on Disney Dreamlight Valley. I think what helps is the open world concept because I'm also enjoying the fact that I get to explore for treasure chests and maybe different things along the way. So in summary, if you didn't like the grind on Dreamlight Valley, you may not like this game too, but the grind is a lot easier in my opinion in comparison to those games. The last thing I want to talk about, which is going to be really short, is decorating. The decorating in this game is comparable to the interior design of Animal Crossing New Leaf and Fae Farm. I would love to see the design feature in this game improved with additions like partition walls, kind of similar to how Animal Crossing New Horizon offered, and also some sort of item rotation. I'm not expecting anything on the level of Palia, but it would be great to just kind of angle a chair ever so slightly just to make it look a little bit more lived in. I just think it would add a lot more life to our builds. We can also decorate all houses on the island without getting into spoilers. It's really similar to how Happy Home Paradise for Animal Crossing worked. And I just think that this feature is really fun, especially since we're collecting all kinds of furniture. I would also love to see in the future some exterior or world decorating, even if it was just for our own home plot location, just because the interior is the only option we have right now. I also think an ordering system could be a great addition to the game. For example, I could exchange a sand dollar for another chair that I like and already own, and this would give players another resource for getting more furniture and appeal to players who don't like multiplayer. Other than those improvements and overall thoughts about decorating, I think my biggest issue right now with the whole design system is the camera. I really hate that if you visit a cabin, you can't move your camera around. You're just kind of like stuck in this angled point of view, which I hope gets changed in the future because I would love to be able to move my camera to any kind of angle. However, with these negatives, I'm still enjoying the decorating feature in the game, but I am hoping for some improvements like I mentioned, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future with it. So now that we have covered so much about the overall mechanics of the game and just the gameplay in general, it's time to talk about my overall thoughts and if the price tag is worth it. I definitely love that the game is an open world and has so much to explore, even with my natives I mentioned today. I'm really enjoying my gameplay experience with it, and I can also see myself adding this game onto my channel as new main content. However, I agree with many people that the price tag for this game was way too high, especially with the issue of having time locks. I can understand time locking a seasonal event because even Dreamlight Valley does this occasionally and Infinity Nikki, but for general gameplay, I don't think that this is a good idea to have, and I think it causes a lot of frustration. If you don't want to risk getting time lock and progressing the story, there are some loopholes if you budget and prepare yourself for each quest, so I would recommend definitely watching the videos I have linked for you in my pinned comment, because these videos have helped me figure out how to plan for each quest and avoid having any time locking issues. As mentioned earlier in my video, the only major time lock I have had was a resource one, and this was because I was unaware that I was going to need the rubber for a snorkel. So if you watch these beginner videos, it's going to help you plan for these quests and what to not use up and craft right away as a new player. If I would have known that this was a mistake, I definitely would have saved my resources so I could be able to progress my story faster. So just make sure you're watching your beginner tips and tricks videos to avoid any mistakes that I have made already on my game. And now the next major question. Should you buy Deluxe or the base game? I think it all comes down to what kind of player you are and how patient you are as well. As somebody who is definitely not a patient person, I wanted access to all of the bonus items and past event items immediately. I didn't also want to have to grind for them if there was a possibility of that. But I can confirm that these deluxe items will become available for standard players in the future. We just don't know when that's going to be. So honestly, with the deluxe version, you're just getting the convenience of getting these items sooner when you could technically get them for free later on. So if you don't mind being patient, save that extra $30. You're gonna get this content eventually anyways. If I wasn't a content creator who focused on design-based videos, I would have definitely chose the cheaper option, but because I do these type of videos, I wanted to have access to everything as early as possible. In summary though, I think the game is worth picking up, especially if you enjoy games like Dreamlight Valley and Animal Crossing. This game has been not only refreshing for me, but I've just been really enjoying the open world concept with an Animal Crossing-like character. Anyways, I hope that today's video not only answered some questions and concerns you may have, but also maybe helped you decide if you want to play the game or not. Let me know if you plan to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure in the comments section below. Before today's video also ends, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me as a creator. Just your support in general means the world to me. Thanks again for watching, and as always, have a horrible day and see you next video.